Get you a pot, heat it up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we got this large pot right here. We're heating up on a medium-low heat. And we've also got a pot of about 6 cups of water heating on a low heat as well. All right, and over at our prepping area, we getting crack-a-lackin'. So what we have here is roughly 2 pounds of fresh shrimp from the Gulf. I also have the peelings from these shrimp. I do not have the heads though. My wife and I was given an ice chest of shrimp from my dad, and we went ahead and deheaded all of them just to make it easy as far as packaging went. But I'm gonna save the peelings here because I'm gonna use that to make a stock in the 6 cups of water I have heating up right now. But for now, I will go ahead and season the shrimp right here. So I'm gonna sprinkle 1/2 tablespoon of Cajun or Creole seasoning, whatever your preference. Gonna mix it around and sprinkle the rest of it. There we go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and mix this all together with my hands so that they all get coated. And there we go. So I know you might be thinking that's not much seasoning, but we're gonna have more seasoning in the stock and the stew itself. So this is just a little bit just to give them some flavor. We're gonna go ahead and cover this up and move it to the fridge for now. All right, so before I get chopping on this right here, I'm gonna let you guys know what I will use to help make the stock. I'll cut the ends of the onions off, taking the harder peelings off, and then throwing that in the pot. I'm also gonna take the ends of the celery, both ends here, and then this white end of the green onion. And I'm gonna throw all that in the pot with the shells, and we should get some good flavor out of this. Let's go ahead and drop this in. We've got the celery, the ends of the onion, and the ends of the green onions. Ooh yeah. Next, we will drop the shells in. There we go. Gonna get that stirred around in here. Man, that smells good, just like that. All right, so right now we're gonna turn our fire up so we can bring this to a boil. And while that is increasing in heat, we will add some seasoning. 1/2 tablespoon of your favorite Cajun or Creole seasoning. 1 teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And 1 teaspoon of black pepper. And we're gonna go ahead and blend that in. Looking good. Oh, we're also gonna throw in 1 bay leaf. Get down in there. All right, guys, we are boiling over here. So we're gonna go ahead and cover this up, lower our heat to a simmer, and we're gonna let that cook for at least 1 hour. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't already know what we got right here, I will let you know. We have 2 yellow onions, 2 sticks of celery, 1 bunch of green onions, and 4 cloves of garlic. And a little bit of fire. Let's go. Time to get started on a roux. So what we're gonna drop in first is 2/3 cup of vegetable oil. Next, we will add 1 cup of all-purpose flour. And we get stirring quickly. All right, so in the beginning, it's gonna clump up like this, but that's okay. You just keep stirring and it will smooth out. And as it smooths out, we can increase our heat a little bit. So just be patient.
Big booty Judy was a friend of mine. Big juicy booty Judy made me lose my mind. Big a friend of mine. Big juicy booty Judy made me lose my mind. That big booty Judy, she was a friend of mine, yo.
This is coming along nicely, ladies and gentlemen. Real smooth, nice pretty tan color. We still have a long way to go. And look, I know some of you out there are already going to say it, oh, well, you can do it in the oven, you can do it a lot faster, higher heat, yada, yada, yada. You know, this is the way I like to do it because I find most everything tastes better when it's done low and slow. Also, too, it's a little easier for people that have never done this before. If you've never done a roux and you go with a high heat, you're likely to burn it. So, this is how we getting down. Furthermore, I threw down that time lapse because someone once commented saying that I added oil, and there's no way it got smooth like that. Well, there you go, buddy. I proved you wrong. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lower my fire here, ladies and gentlemen, because my stock is done. So I'm going to stir this just for a little bit longer so that way the temperature of the pot comes down a little bit, and then I'll strain the stock into a sifter that is over a bowl. So we're going to go ahead and let that sit. Let's look at this right here. Oh, yeah. That's beautiful. Let's go ahead and stir that around. Oh, look at that. That is pretty. That is a pretty stock. It smells so good, too. My goodness, does it smell good. All right, let's go ahead and strain this. Okay, so we've gotten everything out the pot. At this point, I'm going to take my spoon here and just really push down away any other remaining juices in these shells or vegetables can kind of go right through that sifter into that bowl and get everything that we can. All right, so that's good. Whoo, look at that right there. Yes, indeed. All right, so we're going to cover this stock up with some foil because it's still really hot and we don't want everything to evaporate. All right, we're just going to let that chill and get back to stirring our roux. Here we go. Ooh, see, boy, that's why you go ahead and put that on a low heat. See that color that took place right there? If your heat was too high, that would have burned. But because it was on a low heat, it was just kind of cooking real low and slow and just adding a little bit of color here and there. Worked out pretty good. So we can actually raise our heat back up a little bit because we're going to be babying this now. I've also taken my vegetables out the fridge so that way they're not ridiculously cold when I add them to the roux. We're going to keep stirring. We are getting darker, my friends. But if you are familiar with a shrimp stew, crawfish stew, most stews have you, we're looking for a dark chocolate color. So we are going to continue at this. Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, is that not a thing of beauty right there? This is that beautiful chocolate color that we have been talking about. We have finally made it. So now we are going to add our vegetables in. So, a moment of silence, please, as we do this. Lovely. And then you scoop that. Ooh, move that around. All right, this is the real fun part right here. You got to really put some work in. It's going to feel really thick with the roux mixed in with all the vegetables. And it's going to get very dark. It's going to look almost black on camera, but it's just a dark brown. And we're going to do this for about 10 minutes. So you don't have to do it quite as long as I would normally saute vegetables in other videos because that roux is so hot, man. They call it Cajun napalm. It's so hot. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and just keep stirring. So I made a oops, guys. I forgot my bell pepper. I'll put something in the beginning of the video, but I'm going to throw this in now. Saute it in there. It's going to cook down anyway with everything else. And this is still a dark brown, so we're looking good. But I'll go a little longer than that 10-minute window just to get these bell peppers kind of soft. Hey, we ain't perfect, guys. That's the thing we know about cooking. We ain't perfect. But I can't do this without a bell pepper. How did I forget that? All right, guys. We have been cooking this down. Try to get them bell peppers a little soft. My roux is very dark. You can see, though, it's dark brown. See if I can get the... Yeah, a little light there. You can kind of see the brown. It's dark. All right, at this time, you will see, though, it's going to lighten up. Because we're going to add 2 cups of our stock. Yeah, a little bit at a time here. Just kind of blend it in. Let this kind of become a gravy. There we go. All right, let's get a little more in there. Stir it around. And just like that, look at that color change. All right, we're going to add some more. We got 2 more cups. All right, and we got 1 more cup of stock here. Ooh, I don't want to lose my spoon. Oh, I better grab this bad boy. He's about to fall in. All right, guys, so at this point, we're going to go ahead and add a teaspoon of salt. And the reason why is because we lost a little bit of our seasoning from the shells and all that we had in the stock earlier. So we put a little bit more flavor in here and let it cook down. We don't need to add any more spice because we had a decent amount with the Cajun seasoning we had in here earlier, plus the pepper. And then we're going to add the shrimp later that are seasoned with some Cajun seasoning as well. But for now, we are going to raise the heat on this, try to get it to a slight boil, and then we'll cover it up and let it simmer. Now back over at my cutting board, I got a handful of fresh parsley that I'm going to chop up. And there you go. Get it to the pot. Parsley flake. Lovely. And there we go. So let's go ahead and cover this up. Lower our fire to a simmering heat. And we will let this cook for 2 hours, stirring once every 15 minutes, just to make sure it's not sticking to the bottom. All right, guys, we got about an hour left on this stew over here. But during this time, I'm boiling up some eggs. Now, you don't have to do this, but me personally, I like some boiled eggs up in my shrimp stew. Yes, indeed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we got about 20 minutes left here. Whoo, boy. Looking good. Got a good stir. We've been coming back stirring this continuously. Now, look, I'm going to let you know, at this point, if you feel like you want this to be a little thicker, you can leave the top off. And as you can see, we are evaporating here, and that will thicken this up. I mean, it's a decent gravy here, but if you want it thicker, you can do that. Now, keep in mind, as hot as it is, that's going to make it seem thinner than what it really is. So, just letting you know. Now, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add my eggs in. I'm adding them in whole. Sometimes I like to cut them in half, but my wife don't really care for the eggs in here. But she lets me put them, so I add them in whole. It's also good to like kind of pat them dry before you put them in, because as you can see, like the sauce like sticks to them, you know. So, but me and my Bella Bug, we like them. So we're gonna let these sit in here for the next 20 minutes, and then we'll add the shrimp in and let that cook for a little bit, and we'll be good to go. Oh yeah, at about this time, also get some rice cooking. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to add our shrimp in there. Well, I tell you, by about this point, I am just ready to throw it down. Whew, it smells so good. All right, here we go. Let's drop these bad boys in. Bam. So we're going to go ahead and let these cook probably for about 15 minutes. It's not going to take very long. It's already hot. They're going to start to turn pretty quickly here, and it's going to be good. All right, so I'm going to increase the heat a little bit here. let that kind of come back up a little bit because that cold shrimp probably lowered the temperature. And then we'll lower it back down. All right, that's good. Cover it up and lower it to a simmering heat there. And just let that cook. It's been cooking for a couple minutes now, so probably about 10 minutes from here on out, and we'll be good to go. Oh my goodness. Well, that is a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Shrimp stew. I am so hungry. It is time to plate up. All right, so I know this ain't the traditional tasting spot here, but my kitchen is a wreck. You know, like most good cooks, or I guess a cook in general, you make a mess. So, but look at this. Does that not look impressive? Whoo, man, it smells so good. I got some shrimp up in here, y'all. It's piping hot though, so I don't want to burn my tongue, but here we go. That is Cajun stew at its finest. Oh man, it's such a unique gravy. I know I've said stuff like this before, but man, and that shrimp is fresh as it gets. Let me cut open my egg. I like the egg. Now look guys, if you don't have the peelings to make the stock, you can still do everything I did with just the vegetables and go from there. You know, it should all still work out. You know, just that the shrimp peelings give it a little bit more of that seafood flavor, but it's still gonna be very good. Man, this is great. And look, you can adjust the seasonings to however you like. If you want some cayenne pepper, you know, a little more salt, go at your own pace, you know? So good. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap. I got some hoodas I'm about to go watch. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you give this a try and let me know how it comes out. I'll see you next time. Choo! Paya!